I never thought the two people I trusted most in the world would be the ones to break me. My wife, the woman I built a life with. And my best friend, the man I once called a brother. When I found out what they were doing behind my back, I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I got quiet. I planned. And on the night of our anniversary, I showed them, and everyone we loved, exactly what they had done. They say the truth has a smell to it. For me, it was the cold, antiseptic tang of a hotel lobby. The kind of place that doesn't ask questions. Where people check in under aliases and check out with guilt stitched into the seams of their briefcases. My name is Michael, 42 years old. I'm an architect based out of Richmond, Virginia. Married 12 years to a woman I thought I understood better than anyone, Emma. She was my constant, my compass. Or so I believed. Emma traveled a lot for work. Project manager for a pharmaceutical logistics company, or something like that. I never dug too deep because I trusted her, too much, it turns out. She was sharp, warm when she wanted to be, and the kind of beautiful that ages slowly, like wine that knows its worth. But over the last 6 months, something started to itch beneath the surface. A shift. Subtle, but undeniable. She became elusive. Conversations got shorter. Her laugh felt forced. Her phone, once left carelessly on counters and coffee tables, now lived in her pocket or purse. Notifications silenced. Face down. The first time I noticed, we were in the middle of our Friday ritual, take-out Thai and an old movie. She excused herself to the kitchen when a message popped up. I glanced, just a name. Jake. Nothing suspicious. But her reaction? She flinched. Like a kid caught sneaking a cookie. That's when I started listening to the silence. I didn't confront her. Not right away. I waited. Observed. Took mental notes like a detective who didn't want to believe his case was real. I wasn't looking to catch her. I was hoping I was wrong. I wasn't. She left for Denver 2 weeks later. A conference. Same hotel as always, the Hilton on Parkside. I acted normal, kissed her goodbye at the airport. But this time, I called in a favor from a friend. His name's Leo, former Marine, now a PI who owes me one from years back when I helped him secure funding for a veteran housing project. You sure you want to do this? He asked, voice low, like the question itself might be a betrayal. No, I replied. But I need to know who I'm losing her to. 3 days later, Leo sent me a single text, you're going to want to sit down for this. It was a photo. Blurry but clear enough, Emma stepping out of a hotel elevator, smiling. Hair curled the way she never does for me. Walking arm in arm with someone I knew. Tyler. My best friend. My best man. Godfather to our daughter, Lily. That photo took the oxygen right out of the room. I stared at it for a long time, until my screen dimmed from inactivity. My fingers were numb. My mind ran through every memory I had of Tyler, Sunday barbecues, late-night poker games, helping me patch up the fence after a storm last year. He was family. He was safe. Except he wasn't. Not to Emma. Not anymore. I didn't scream. I didn't throw my phone or punch a wall. I sat back on my couch, the leather groaning under my weight, and felt everything and nothing all at once. My life didn't implode in a single second, it splintered, like glass hit by a slow, deliberate crack. That night, I made a plan. I called Leo. You got video? Plenty, he said. But I'll only send it if you really want it. Some things, once seen, you can't unsee. Send it. He did. Watching it was like peeling off my own skin. I saw her laugh with him. Touch his arm like it was second nature. I heard her voice, soft, familiar, say his name like it meant something sacred. And I saw her kiss him. Not in a rushed, frantic way. No, this was practiced. Rehearsed. A kiss that came with history. I paused the video and stared at her frozen face. Emma. The woman I had built a life around. The one I held when she cried over her father's death. The mother of my child. And she was kissing my best friend in a hotel hallway like they were on vacation. That was the moment something broke in me. But not in the way you'd expect. I didn't fall apart. I got cold. Focused. I was going to confront them, but not with tears or shouting. No, that would be too easy. Too forgettable. They needed to feel it. Both of them. I called Leo again. I need your help with something, I said. What kind of something? The kind that makes two people wish they'd never met. After the video, I didn't sleep much. I sat in the dark for hours, not blinking, not moving. Just breathing. In. Out. Trying to steady the storm. It's strange. You imagine if you ever caught your wife and your best friend betraying you, it would ignite some primal rage. But for me, it was precision. Clarity. Like an architect looking at a ruined building and already drawing blueprints for the demolition. I wasn't going to explode. I was going to build something, a moment so sharp they'd never forget it. Not to hurt them for the sake of pain, but to let them feel the weight of what they tried to bury. So I called Leo again. You still got that recording gear? I asked. I've got better, he said. What are you thinking? I want it clean. Professional. I don't want revenge. I want proof. Enough to bring them down in one shot. There was a pause. Mike, you sure about this? Once we go down this path, you can't unring the bell. I don't want the bell back, I replied. I want the whole damn tower to fall. That Friday, Emma returned from Denver. She walked through the door like nothing had happened. Coat over her arm, travel mug in hand, eyes tired from the flight. Hey, she said casually, smiling. I missed you. I kissed her on the forehead and smiled back. Academy Award worthy. I missed you too. That was the moment I knew I could pull it off, this mask. This performance. It was all a stage now. Over dinner, she told me about the conference. How exhausting the panels were. How Jake from logistics kept botching the scheduling. I nodded, listening intently, cataloging every lie like a librarian filing books I already knew the ending to. The next few days were rehearsals. She'd kiss me goodbye, head off to work, text at lunch. I'd respond with care, affection, subtlety. The more normal I was, the less she suspected. But behind the scenes, I was in full production mode. I met with Leo in a parking garage late at night, just like some movie scene, except we weren't playing. He handed me a folder. Full surveillance. They've met at least 3 times at that same hotel over the past 6 weeks, he said. Same room number. I've got timestamps, photos, and video. Anne. I pulled his credit card receipts. He handed me a single piece of paper. A dinner bill from La Mer, a 5-star French place in the city. 2 guests. Wine. Dessert. The signature. Tyler's. The date? Our daughter's piano recital. I told him to come. He said he had a work emergency, I murmured. Leo exhaled. They're reckless now. That's when they slip up. And that's when we strike, I said. Here's the thing, I knew I couldn't confront them in private. Emma was too good with words. Too emotional. She'd cry, twist the story, maybe even turn it on me. Tyler. He'd try to man his way out of it, like he always did. No. This had to be public. Unmistakable. A stage they couldn't run from. So I planned a dinner. Our anniversary was coming up, lucky number 13. I told Emma I wanted to do something special. Rent a private room at Marcelli's, a classy Italian place downtown. Just a few close friends, some wine, a slideshow of memories. Nostalgic. Intimate. She loved the idea. Called it romantic. I invited 12 people. Emma's sister. Tyler and his wife, Melissa. A few mutual friends from college. Everyone we'd known as a couple. Everyone who mattered to the story. The night of the dinner, I dressed in a tailored navy suit. The kind that makes you look like you've got secrets, and you're about to share them. Leo was there too, disguised as the photographer. He brought hidden cameras. 2 were fixed on the table. 1 on the projector. When everyone arrived, I stood up to speak. Thank you all for being here, I began. Emma and I have been together for 13 years. We've had our share of ups and downs. But tonight, I wanted to share a journey, our story. Emma beamed beside me, reaching for my hand. I took it, held it gently. Now, instead of telling you our story, I thought I'd show it. I clicked the remote. The slideshow began, baby photos, vacations, holidays. Laughter. Love. Emma leaned on my shoulder. Tyler watched with a grin. Then came the switch. The screen went black. Then a timestamp appeared. March 17, room 509. Hilton Denver Parkside. Emma froze. On screen, a shaky hallway camera caught her entering the room. Tyler appeared 10 seconds later. You could feel the air get sucked out of the room. One woman gasped. Melissa turned to Tyler, her face pale. Emma gripped my arm. Michael, what is this? I didn't answer. Then came the next video, grainy but unmistakable. Emma, in a robe, laughing. Tyler, shirtless, handing her wine. Their voices clear as day. You know he'd kill us if he found out, Tyler said. He won't, Emma replied. He still thinks you're his brother. Gasps. Shuffling chairs. I paused the video and turned to the room. I wanted you all to see it. To see what betrayal looks like when it wears the face of friendship. Emma whispered, Michael, please. I cut her off. Don't. Just don't. Melissa stood up. Slapped Tyler. Hard. Emma tried to reach for me. I stepped back. I trusted you, I said quietly. Both of you. With my heart, with my home, with our child. And you torched it for hotel sheets and wine. No one said a word. Then I nodded to Leo. He turned off the projector. Dinner's cancelled. I'll be filing for divorce on Monday. And Tyler, don't bother calling me. We're done. I walked out, not looking back. Outside, the night was cold and clean. I took a deep breath. For the first time in weeks, I felt the air in my lungs. Leo caught up to me. You good? He asked. I smiled. Not big. Just enough. Better than I've been in a long time. The morning after the dinner felt empty. Not peaceful. Not chaotic. Just quiet. Like the first few minutes after a storm, when everything is still deciding what it wants to be next. I poured myself a black coffee. No cream, no sugar, just like I used to drink before I got soft. Before life got comfortable. My phone sat on the counter, buzzing non-stop. Emma, 9 missed calls. Tyler, 5 missed calls. Unknown number, probably Melissa. I let them all go to voicemail. I wasn't ready to hear their apologies, their justifications, their damage control. I'd already heard the only truth I needed, in their laughter, in their whispers, in the way she said, he won't find out, like I was a joke in my own life. Instead, I opened an email from Lisa, my lawyer. Michael, I filed the initial paperwork this morning. Based on the evidence you provided, we're pursuing full custody and an unequal division of assets due to infidelity. I'll need you to gather the following documents. That grounded me. Revenge wasn't the goal. Clarity was. Control. A future. I had built homes for a living, designed spaces for other people to live their best lives. Now it was time to design my own, from the ashes. Later that afternoon, I finally answered one call. Not from Emma. From Melissa. Her voice cracked as she spoke. Michael. I don't even know what to say. I'm so sorry. I know, I said softly. I didn't do it to hurt you. But you deserve the truth too. I threw him out. Last night. He tried to say it wasn't serious. That it didn't mean anything. But he said that with your wife's perfume still on his collar. I sighed. They always think they're the smart ones. Like we're just extras in their little story. She paused. If you ever want to talk, vent, yell. I'm here. Funny how betrayal rearranges your life, and sometimes brings unlikely people closer. Emma showed up 2 days later. I didn't open the door. Just spoke through the intercom. Michael, please, she said. Let me explain. You already did, I replied. Every time you walked into that hotel room. There was silence. Then, it didn't mean what you think. It was a mistake. I was lost. You weren't lost, I said. You were found. In someone else's bed. Repeatedly. She started to cry. The sound used to crush me. Now it just felt hollow. You don't have to hate me. I don't, I said. But I also don't know you anymore. And I can't love someone I don't know. She stayed outside for a while. I watched from the upstairs window, her figure slumped against the car. She was waiting for a version of me that no longer existed. The legal process began the next week. Lisa was a force, cool, razor-sharp, and strategic. We went after everything I had a right to. Custody. The house. A fair split that accounted for what Emma gave away when she broke her vows. Tyler tried texting me once. Just 2 words, I'm sorry. I didn't respond. Some things don't deserve closure. Instead, I turned my focus to Lily. She was 10, smart, intuitive, and more aware than I realized. One night she asked me, "Why are you and Mom not talking?" I knelt down beside her. Because grown-ups make mistakes, I said. And sometimes, those mistakes change things. She looked down. Are we gonna be okay? I pulled her into a hug. We already are, kiddo. At night, I sat on the back porch with a glass of bourbon and the stars for company. The house was quiet now, but not heavy. It breathed again. Part of me still hurt. Of course it did. But another part, the part one thought she'd taken from me, had started to rebuild. And in that space, something new began to grow. 2 weeks into the divorce proceedings, the air shifted. Emma had gone quiet. Too quiet. No more voicemails. No, please talk to me, texts. No driveway ambushes. I should have felt relieved, but I've lived long enough to know that when someone like her goes silent, it's not surrender. It's strategy. And I was right. Lisa called me on a Wednesday morning. She's filed a response, she said. They're pushing for shared custody, spousal support, and, wait for it, a request to keep the house. I chuckled, but there was no humor in it. She cheats on me, and now she wants me to bankroll the home she betrayed me in. Lisa's voice was calm but firm. It's a scare tactic. She's trying to leverage guilt. Don't flinch. I didn't. But I did adjust my stance. That weekend, I met with Melissa. Not a date. Just coffee. Two people who'd stepped on the same landmine. She looked tired, a different kind of tired than I remembered. Like someone who'd stopped pretending. He's been staying with his brother, she said. Told me he's working on himself. Meanwhile, I'm packing up 15 years of marriage into boxes. I get it, I said. Emma wants the house. Melissa blinked. Of course she does. She needs a prize. Something to hold up and say, look, I didn't lose everything. She's not getting it, I replied. But she's going to fight dirty. I can feel it. Melissa leaned forward. Do you want help? I looked at her. Help? She nodded. I found something. Emails. From before the affair started. Emma reached out to Tyler months before their first hotel meetup. They'd been building this thing. Flirting. Planning. You still have them? I asked. I do. Lisa's eyes lit up when I handed her the printouts. This changes the timeline. Shows premeditation. We can argue calculated emotional manipulation, possibly even fraud if any financial decisions were influenced during that period. Emma's case was built on the image of a strong wife who slipped once, begged for forgiveness, and hoped for grace. But this? This painted her as an architect of deceit. How poetic. The next day, my daughter brought home a school project. A diorama of our family. Except there were only two figures. Me and her. No mom. I looked at her, unsure of what to say. I didn't know where to put her, Lily said. She's different now. My heart broke and hardened at the same time. I wasn't raising her to hate her mother. But I wasn't going to lie to her either. She deserved a father who stood for truth, even if it cost us comfort. That night, Emma called. I answered. You win, she said, her voice tired. It's not a game. Then why does it feel like I'm losing everything? I stayed quiet. She sighed. I messed up. But I didn't expect you to turn into this. A man with boundaries. A man with blood in his teeth. That one hit. But I didn't apologize. You tried to destroy a family and keep the furniture, I said. I'm just making sure the ashes don't stay in my house. We were 5 minutes from walking into the courtroom when Lisa turned to me and asked, You ready for this? I nodded. I've been ready since I saw the video. She gave a faint smile, the kind lawyers offer when they know the battle's about to get personal. Just remember, don't react. Let the evidence do the damage. It was good advice. Because what followed was less of a hearing and more of a war in dress clothes. Emma came in looking every bit the wounded dove, conservative blazer, hair pulled back, barely there makeup. Tyler sat 2 rows behind her, like some twisted shadow cheering from the sidelines. I didn't look at him. I didn't need to. Emma's attorney opened with a familiar playbook. She's a loving mother. She regrets her actions. She's seeking a graceful dissolution for the sake of the child. And yes, she's asking for shared custody, partial alimony, and the right to remain in the marital home to maintain stability for the daughter. They made her sound like a selfless guardian angel who accidentally tripped into an affair and just needed a soft place to land. Lisa let them finish. Then she stood. And burned it down. We'll be submitting audiovisual evidence of a long-term affair between Mrs. Whitaker and Mr. Tyler Monroe, the petitioner's best friend and best man, she said calmly. Additionally, we have email records, some as far back as 6 months before the first physical contact, indicating deliberate emotional entanglement and concealment. She handed the judge the folder Melissa gave us. I watched Emma's face drain of color. This was not a mistake, Lisa continued. This was a series of calculated betrayals, done in secret, maintained through deception, and now leveraged in a court of law as if it were a hiccup in an otherwise functional marriage. Silence. Even the court reporter looked up. The judge reviewed the documents, flipping slowly through emails that began with innocent work jokes, and evolved into things like, "I wish I'd married you instead. He has no idea. Let's keep it that way." Emma stared down, unmoving. Her attorney whispered something, but she didn't respond. Then came the financial statements, dates of hotel stays during family events, dinner bills while I stayed home with Lily. Lisa turned to the judge. "And finally, Your Honor, we'd like to present testimony showing Mr. Whitaker has been the primary caregiver for the child for the past 5 years, while Mrs. Whitaker was frequently absent or disengaged." That was Melissa's sworn statement. Honest. Painful. Damning. Afterward, Emma tried to speak. I made mistakes," she stammered. "But I'm still her mother." The judge nodded. "And no one's denying that. But your role as a mother doesn't exempt you from accountability as a partner." That line stuck with me. Because for the first time, someone else saw it, what I'd lived through, what I carried. We walked out without a ruling that day, but I could feel it, the tide had turned. Lisa leaned over. "That went better than I expected." I let out a long breath. "It's not about destroying her." "I know," she said. "It's about not letting her rewrite the ending." Exactly. That night, Lily fell asleep on the couch beside me while we watched The Iron Giant. She rested her head on my shoulder and whispered, "I like it better when it's just us." I kissed her forehead. "Me too." By the third week of hearings, Emma's mask had started to crack. Gone was the polished remorse, the carefully practiced posture of a woman trying to keep things civil. What replaced it was something rawer, more erratic, a person slipping, reaching, lashing. It started with little things. An unprompted outburst during mediation. A passive-aggressive message through our daughter's school app. The kind of stunts you pull when you realize the narrative isn't swinging your way. I saw it all for what it was, the unraveling. Still, I stayed quiet. Focused. Not out of weakness, out of discipline. Because the final play was coming, and I needed her to feel safe enough to show her hand. She didn't disappoint. It came in the form of a leak. One of my clients, a long-term real estate developer I'd worked with for years, called and said, "Hey Mike, we got an anonymous packet at the office. Some personal stuff. Are you alright, man?" I asked him to forward it. Inside, a copy of my therapy notes from 3 years ago. Depression. Burnout. Struggles after my dad died. I'd confided in Emma during that time. Told her everything. And now, somehow, those notes were public. Coincidence? Not a chance. I knew that handwriting on the mailing label. Emma's. She was trying to paint me unstable, plant doubt about my ability to parent, to lead a business, to function. I could practically hear her argument forming, "He's emotionally fragile, Your Honor. He has a history. We need stability for Lily." Lisa's response was short and brutal. "She weaponized your mental health. That's going to backfire, hard." And it did. Back in court, Lisa presented evidence linking the leak to Emma's laptop IP. She did it with surgical precision, walking the court through timestamps, login records, even the courier receipt. Emma's lawyer tried to object. The judge shut him down. "That was a confidential medical document," the judge said sharply. "You don't get to destroy a man's character for trusting the wrong person." Emma's eyes filled with tears. This time, no one in the room bought them. After court, she waited outside. "You think you've won?" she hissed as I walked by. I turned to her, not angry, just done. "No, Emma," I said. "I just stopped losing." That night, I got a message from Melissa. He tried reaching out to me. Said you're ruining Emma's life for nothing. I told him, you don't get to complain about the fire when you're the one who struck the match. I laughed. First genuine one in weeks. Later, Lily and I sat on the floor of her room, building a Lego spaceship. She looked up at me and asked, "Are you sad about Mom?" I paused. Sometimes. But not because she's gone. Just, because of who she decided to be. Lily nodded. I think you're better now. I smiled. Yeah. I think I am. 3 months after the first hearing, I stood in front of the same judge, same courtroom, same worn wooden bench that had watched my life unravel piece by piece. Only this time, I wasn't broken. I was ready. The ruling came fast, the evidence had spoken louder than emotion ever could. The judge granted me primary custody of Lily, citing stability, consistency, and what she called a pattern of betrayal and reckless behavior on Emma's part. Spousal support. Denied. The house. Mine. Visitation. Supervised. Emma didn't cry this time. She just sat still, lips pressed into a thin line. She didn't look at me. Didn't look at the judge. Maybe she was still calculating her next move, or maybe, finally, realizing she had none left. Tyler wasn't there. I hadn't seen him since the day Melissa left him. Word was he moved to Florida, started some soul-searching journey that involved yoga retreats and coaching seminars. Good for him. Let him find himself far away from the life he torched. As for Melissa, she sent me a quiet thumbs-up emoji when I told her the verdict. We didn't talk much anymore. We didn't need to. Some connections are forged in the fire, but not meant to last once the smoke clears. Lily and I started fresh. I repainted the living room. Tore up the carpet Emma picked out and replaced it with dark wood floors that felt cleaner, more grounded. We built a reading nook under the stairs, a place just for her. No memory of before. Each evening, she picked the music while we cooked. I taught her how to scramble eggs, how to hold the skillet, how to tell when garlic's just about to burn. She laughed more now. Slept better. So did I. Sometimes we'd pass the street Emma moved to, a cramped apartment not far from downtown, and Lily would glance that way. I never said a word. I let her process it all on her own timeline. We answered her questions honestly, without bitterness. Because the truth didn't need poison. It just needed light. One Friday night, about 6 months after the ruling, I took Lily to a small concert at the park. Bluegrass and food trucks, families sitting on blankets. The kind of simple night I'd forgotten I loved. That's when I saw her. Rachel. She was there with her son, single mom, new in town, worked at the school board. We'd met once at a parent-teacher event. Talked over juice boxes and PTA drama. She was warm. Grounded. Witty in a quiet way. This time, we talked longer. About books. About daughters. About how hard it is to trust again, but how good it feels when you do, just a little. I didn't ask for her number that night. I just walked her and her son to their car and said, "I hope I see you again." She smiled. "I think you will." Later that evening, Lily fell asleep in the back seat, music soft on the radio. I pulled into the driveway and looked at our house, the porch lights glowing, the windows warm. It wasn't the house we had built together, Emma and I. It was the one I rebuilt. Stronger. Simpler. Real.